Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. Today I'm going to be doing my second review of the day, so hopefully you enjoy this one. This movie is a horror film from Australia, English language, released in the year 2026, directed by Roache-Turner, and this film is called Beast of War. So Beast of War is set during World War II. We have a group of Australian soldiers that are sailing through the Timor Sea, and they are going to fight the forces of the Japanese. And so along the way they're bombed, and now the survivors have sought refuge on this raft. But unfortunately, in the middle of the ocean, the rescuers finding them is not their only problem, because they realise they're being stalked by a great white shark who is absolutely massive. So this great white shark starts picking them off one by one. Now they're going to have to band together if they are to survive this onslaught. So what happens at that point on? Something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Beast of War. While I was interested in this movie, I did have a healthy dose of skepticism coming into it. Number one, it is a shark film, and a lot of shark films don't take themselves very seriously, but when a serious shark film comes along, they can be very effective. Especially for me, that primal fear of the ocean can be a really good setting for a horror film, and also having a World War II set horror film is something that's very different, combining with a shark film. If there are movies out there set during this time with sharks, then I haven't seen them, so this is my first experience. And so that was the interest coming into that movie. But as I said, the skepticism is that shark films aren't taken very seriously, and number two, Roache-Turner is the director. Now this is a director with a lot of ability. Wormwood was a movie I absolutely loved. I believe I gave that one 5 stars or 4.5, a very, very high score, because I thought that was absolutely brilliant. But then Wormwood 2 come along, and it was more of the same thing. It wasn't very good. Then Necrotronic come along, that I didn't really like at all, and there are other movies of his that have really let go of that standard, and so I haven't gravitated to this director fully, and so I'm still waiting for that movie to really get me back on board. So since Wormwood, I don't believe he's really made a good film, and so coming into Beast of War, I was hoping that this is going to be his turnaround, but as I said, that skepticism was preventing me from buying this movie on DVD and waiting till it came out on streaming. So this is on Netflix, so I really wasn't risking anything by watching it. And so coming into a film with not much expectation, but with a lot of hope, unfortunately, that hope wasn't realised, because although there are some likeable qualities to this movie, unfortunately there was one glaring issue that prevented me from liking it, and really prevented me from not looking at my watch well before the end credits. So the good things about this film, the World War II setting, I actually really liked. I liked the build-up to the characters. The characters, although they're not lovable, at least they were somewhat three-dimensional. They weren't 2D cardboard cutouts that you just want to have lambs to the slaughter. You actually feel as though there is some effort to actually give you a background. And so that's something that I really like, especially with shark films. You know, with a shark movie, the draw card is the shark, and nothing really is ever gone into. But this movie dares to be a little bit different in that regard. And so the character build-up, and the acting, the script, I thought was fairly decent. There were some moments that made me chuckle with a lot of Australian humour, so that was also very good. And the setting of this raft in the middle of the ocean, and there is a fog. Now this fog creates a different dimension. It's almost like a nightmare where these characters are trying desperately to get out of. Not only do they have to be rescued and face dehydration and, and all the horrors of being lost out in the ocean, but you've got this great white shark that's very practical. So the practical great white shark, I know, is going to appease a lot of fans. It's not CGI, so it's not lazy. So there is a lot of love in this movie that it has a practical shark. The shark doesn't look terrible. There are some really, really good gore scenes. There was a scene especially with the grenade that I really, really liked. And so you have that sense that this is a good movie, and so the production wise, I thought as though, alright, this is actually impressive, especially for an Australian horror film. So a lot of Australian horror films out there are very forgettable, but this movie does go above that made-for-TV crap and actually has that feeling that this could be a cinema release. So the shark, there are some set pieces that I thought were fairly daunting in the first half, and so that was the positive to this movie, but unfortunately there is one glaring negative. The movie doesn't have enough content to have an hour and 20 minutes. Now an hour and 20 minutes is not a long film at the best of times, but when you realise that it's starting to drag and it feels like it goes for 3 hours, you know that the content was not there. It is very, very repetitive. And the suspense is really eliminated by the time you see something for the third time. So it's just this shark circling. These people are trying to find out ways to get off this raft, to get to safety, and the shark picks off one person. Then the shark goes around. These people are starting to find ways to try and get off this raft, and then the shark picks off someone else. And so that's the way it goes for the second half of this movie, and it becomes very, very tedious. And so I thought as though this outstayed its welcome well before the credits. I was starting to get actually quite bored. So the first half, when you are not accustomed to this shark and accustomed to the gore and the shark attacks, it's very effective, it's very good. And so it's the anticipation of something really bad happening, but unfortunately, when that anticipation is realised and the resolution comes about, it's far too early in the film. So it would have been better to have all of that anticipation for the majority of the movie and then have the shark attack, then have that resolution, but unfortunately, because it's way too early, it outstayed its welcome and you realise that this is a very, very thin story. So the story is where it really lets itself down, which is very, very unfortunate because I really wanted to like this movie. There are likeable qualities, but unfortunately it is just way too long for its own good, and the fact that it only goes for an hour and 20 minutes tells you something. It would have been a lot better as a short film, and so I thought as though there was a lot of wasted potential. There was a lot of love in this movie, but unfortunately not enough content to really carry it over the line and prevent it from being a very forgettable experience. And so if you like shark films, I would recommend it, but unfortunately it's not going to win anyone over. It's not going to strike you as a film that's going to last in the memory. You're probably going to forget this one in a few days' time, and as a result of that, I'm going to give Beast of War 2 stars. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.